Your person is entering a powerful phase of emotional clarity, and they are deeply committed to proving just how much they want this connection to be a real, lasting part of their life. This isn't a fleeting feeling or a passing desire. They are now fully recognizing the depth of their emotions for you, and it's beginning to influence everything they say and do. For a long time, they may have kept much of what they felt hidden, whether out of fear, confusion, pride, or the assumption that they had more time to figure it all out. But something inside them has shifted. That internal struggle is giving way to a stronger, more determined energy, one that is pushing them toward authenticity and action. In the days ahead, you'll begin to notice a significant change in their behavior. Where there was once hesitation, you'll see determination. Where there was silence or inconsistency, you'll hear a voice that is steadier, more direct, and more emotionally open. Their tone, their body language, the way they look at you or speak your name, it will all carry a new weight, a new sincerity. These won't just be small surface-level changes. You'll feel the difference in how they carry themselves around you and how they engage with you. This is someone stepping into emotional maturity, someone who no longer wants to play it safe by keeping their heart guarded. This time around, your person is choosing to be honest, not just selectively honest, but deeply and consistently so. Their words will finally begin to reflect the feelings they've kept buried for so long, and more importantly, their actions will align with those words. You won't be left guessing their intentions anymore. They are realizing that love, especially the kind they feel for you, cannot survive in a space filled with doubt, miscommunication, and hesitation. They want to build trust, to offer reassurance, and to show up in ways they didn't or couldn't before. What's driving this transformation is their growing frustration with themselves. They're tired of holding back, tired of pretending they can go on without expressing the truth of how they feel about you. It's draining for them to keep suppressing these emotions, and it's starting to affect them in a more tangible way. There is a longing in them not just to feel this love in their heart, but to live it out in the real world, to make it physical, present, and undeniable. They crave connection with you on every level, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. They no longer want to love you in silence or from a distance. They want to be seen and felt and understood by you. Even if you've chosen to be silent, perhaps not texting or calling them, maybe pulling back to protect your own heart, they are very aware of this. Don't mistake their lack of immediate response as ignorance or indifference. They are observing your silence, and it's affecting them deeply. Rather than letting it discourage them, it's motivating them. They understand that the time for waiting is over. They're ready to take the risk of reaching out, of being the first to break the silence, regardless of whether they're sure how you'll respond. That's how much they want this. That's how far they've come from the person they used to be. This entire shift in energy is being guided by a deeper emotional current, one that resonates with the message and feeling of the channel song for this reading, "Don't You Give Up" by Justin Bieber. The lyrics speak to persistence, to a plea for staying present in the face of hardship, and to the quiet but powerful resolve that comes with wanting something real. Your person is embodying that sentiment now. They are silently echoing the words, "Don't you give up on me," hoping that your heart can still feel the bond between you, even through the distance. What they hope you understand, perhaps without even having to say it aloud, is that this isn't about needing someone to fix them or fill a void. It's about wanting to show up as the best version of themselves for you. They know they've made mistakes, that there were moments they could have shown up better, or spoken more clearly, or acted more courageously. But those realizations aren't weighing them down anymore. They're using them as fuel, as reminders of why this connection is worth fighting for. So as you navigate your own feelings in this situation, whether you're still holding space for them or standing at an emotional crossroads, know that change is already in motion. What once felt uncertain is starting to find clarity. What once seemed distant is now drawing closer. Your person is preparing to meet you with a different kind of energy, one that is honest, expressive, and ready to honor the love they've been carrying for you all along. There was a time when the mere thought of you being with someone else would fill your person with intense emotions, anger, jealousy, and even a sense of loss that hadn't yet happened. The idea of seeing you in someone else's arms used to feel unbearable. It triggered a storm within them, not because they didn't trust you necessarily, but because the thought of losing you awakened their deepest fears and insecurities. They were overwhelmed by the possibility that someone else might offer you something they couldn't or hadn't yet. Those feelings created internal conflict, and instead of facing them, they may have withdrawn or acted out in ways they now regret. But something has shifted within your person during this period of distance. Now, it's not just that they can't bear the thought of you being with someone else, it's that they themselves can't imagine being with anyone else either. It's as if they've looked into the future and no matter how many paths appear, they all feel meaningless if you're not walking beside them. There's a deep realization settling in, one that only time and space could bring: you are irreplaceable in their life. You're not just someone they once loved or thought about building a future with. You are the person. The one. The energy they feel most aligned with, the connection that resonates beyond logic or explanation. This phase of separation, as painful and confusing as it has been, is becoming one of the most important periods of growth for them. In your absence, they are seeing the truth with new eyes. They are beginning to understand that what they felt wasn't just infatuation, comfort, or temporary attachment. It was, and still is, deep, soul-level connection. They're realizing that no one else stirs their heart the way you do, no one else brings them the kind of peace, excitement, or inspiration that you naturally radiate. The time apart is showing them how much you actually mean to them, not just as a romantic partner, but as a grounding force in their life, a mirror that reflects back both their light and their shadows. In this reflection, they are also starting to see their own wounds more clearly. They are acknowledging the fears and limitations that have held them back, not just in this connection, but in many areas of their life. They're learning that when they begin to heal those fears, when they give themselves permission to face the parts of them they've avoided, they start to feel lighter, freer, more whole. And when they feel good about who they are, they naturally begin to feel worthy of love, your love. That's when the desire to reconnect with you grows stronger, not from a place of lack or desperation, but from a deeper sense of alignment and readiness. They no longer want to carry the weight of the past or allow old pain to shape their future. They're learning to let go, for their highest good, and for the health of this connection. What's also becoming more apparent to them is how much they admire you. They see you now as someone who is confident, self-assured, and abundant, not just in material ways, but in spirit. Your energy draws them in. The way you carry yourself, the way you've handled the separation, the strength you've shown, it's magnetic. It's deeply attractive, not just in a physical way, but in how it makes them feel about what's possible for themselves. Seeing you in your power makes them want to rise into theirs. You inspire them to grow, to create, to be better, not because you asked them to, but because your presence alone challenges them to become the version of themselves they know they're capable of being. So now, your person is in a place of deep contemplation and awakening. They are not only reflecting on the connection but also transforming how they see love, relationships, and themselves. The journey isn't over. There may still be healing to do, bridges to rebuild, conversations to have, but their heart is opening in a way it never has before. What once felt confusing now feels clear. You are the one they want to share their life with. You are the person they can picture growing old with, celebrating life's highs and enduring its lows. They are beginning to understand that love isn't just about the good moments, but about growth, patience, forgiveness, and emotional courage. And with every day that passes, they are more certain that if there's one person they're meant to walk this path with, it's you. Many days have passed since I first realized what you truly mean to me. Time has moved on, people have come and gone, situations have changed, and life has taken its unpredictable course, but through all of it, one thing has remained unwavering: my feelings for you. In fact, not only have they remained constant, they've grown deeper, stronger, and more consuming than I ever expected. What started as a quiet affection has now become a powerful, undeniable force within me, something I carry with me every single day. I tried to suppress it at first. I thought I could push these feelings away, bury them under the weight of everyday life. I convinced myself that I could fill the space you left behind with work, by immersing myself in tasks and responsibilities, thinking that productivity could substitute passion. I tried surrounding myself with people, hoping their presence would be enough to drown out the ache of missing you. I turned to the comfort of money and material pleasures, distracting myself with fleeting things that brought short-term satisfaction. But no matter what I did, no matter how busy I kept myself or how many distractions I chased, nothing filled the growing void in my heart. There's this persistent emptiness at the center of me, like a quiet hollowness that no noise can fill, no laughter can soothe, and no luxury can comfort. I feel it the most during moments of stillness, when I'm alone with my thoughts, when the world slows down and your memory comes rushing back in. It's in those moments that I realize how much I miss you, how deeply I yearn for your presence, your voice, your energy. Even when I'm with others, laughing, joking, pretending to be fully present, my mind is constantly wandering. It's always you. I'll catch myself thinking about how you might be doing, what you might be thinking, or whether you ever think of me the same way. I go through the motions of socializing, smiling on the outside, but on the inside, there's this constant undercurrent of longing. I try to live, but it always feels like something essential is missing, like I'm carrying around a piece of myself that can't be completed unless you're near. At one point, I was in denial. I didn't want to believe that I could fall in love this deeply. I resisted the idea, thinking maybe it was just infatuation or a temporary emotional phase. I told myself it would fade with time. But the more I tried to escape it, the stronger it became. Now, I don't even fight it. I've come to accept it, to understand that what I feel for you isn't just a passing emotion, it's love in its truest form. And this love, it's not just in my thoughts, it's in my dreams too. I find myself dreaming of us together, living life side by side, building a future filled with shared moments, laughter, and the kind of quiet understanding that only comes from genuine connection. Since I met you, everything in my life has shifted. It's as if I've started seeing the world through a different lens, one colored by hope, vulnerability, and a deep sense of longing. You've awakened something in me that I didn't even know existed. My priorities have changed, my understanding of love has deepened, and my heart feels both fuller and more exposed. I used to think love was something you could control, something you could choose to feel or not feel. But now I know better. Love isn't something you choose, it's something that happens to you, something that takes root and grows regardless of whether you welcome it or not. I can't fully explain the transformation I've gone through since you came into my life. It's more than just missing someone, it's a kind of soul recognition, a pull I can't ignore. You've touched a part of me so deeply that it's impossible to return to the person I was before I met you. And while that might sound overwhelming, it's also beautiful in a way. Because despite the pain, despite the longing, despite the emptiness I sometimes feel in your absence, I wouldn't trade this love for anything. It has made me feel alive in ways I never knew were possible. Maybe one day I'll have the chance to tell you all this face to face. Maybe someday we'll get to build something real together. Until then, I carry you in my thoughts, in my dreams, and most of all, in my heart.